Welcome to this lecture on cooperative language learning. As language educators, we are constantly looking for approaches that do more than develop grammatical accuracy. We want approaches that prepare learners for how language is actually used in the world today, socially, collaboratively, and across cultural and linguistic boundaries. Cooperative language learning speaks directly to this need. It reflects a broader shift in language education away from viewing learners as an individual, accuracy-driven process tied to native speaker norms, and toward understanding language learning as a fundamentally social activity. In this view, meaning is constructed through interaction, collaboration, and purposeful communication. In this session, we will explore what cooperative learning really means in language teaching, how it differs from simple group work, and why it has become such a central feature of contemporary curriculum design. But first, let's look at the theoretical foundations. When we talk about cooperative learning in language education, we are drawing on several overlapping theoretical traditions. These include interactionist perspectives in second language acquisition, for example, sociocultural views of learning, and process-oriented approaches to curriculum design. Current principles of instructed language acquisition emphasizes that opportunities for interaction are central to developing second language proficiency. Language learning does not happen simply through exposure to linguistic forms, but through using language to negotiate meaning with others in meaningful contexts. This represents a clear shift in methodology. Rather than teacher-fronted lessons focused primarily on controlled practice, contemporary approaches emphasize activities that create genuine reasons for communication, problem solving, information sharing, and collaborative decision making. These are core mechanisms through which learning takes place. From a curriculum perspective, this reflects a process-oriented approach that emphasizes how learners engage with content and with each other, rather than starting solely from questions about which linguistic forms should be taught. Cooperative learning aligns closely with this shift because it foregrounds participation, interaction, and shared meaning making. So, how do these two theoretical insights translate into classroom practice? This is where the specific principles of cooperative language learning become important. So, let's look at these core principles. In cooperative language teaching, it is important to be clear that cooperative learning is not simply students working in groups. Not all group works are cooperative learning. Without careful design, group work can reproduce individual learning in a shared space or lead to uneven participation. So, effective cooperative language learning is typically characterized by four core principles. First, positive interdependence. Learners need each other in order to succeed. For example, say in a graduate level discussion skills course organized around international topics, for example, students would work in pairs and small groups to explore global issues. Your talk as the practitioner or the teacher would then emerge in response to students' ideas rather than their language use. What matters here is that communication becomes necessary. Learners depend on one another to construct meaning. The second principle is individual accountability. Cooperation does not mean that responsibility disappears. In a technical communication course for engineering students, for example, learners work collaboratively on projects such as site or design tasks. Assessment then can include both group components such as written reports and oral presentations, and individual elements like participation. Now here, each learner remains accountable to their contribution and learning. The third principle is about meaningful interaction. So interaction needs to be purposeful. This means real-world tasks similar to what you might see in TBLT are necessary because they allow students to achieve authentic interaction. So the focus here is on that real-life, genuine interaction, which requires cooperation. And the final principle it focuses on the development of collaborative skills. Learners do not automatically know how to work effectively in groups, and that's very important. In a cooperative language learning-led class, lessons move deliberately between teacher-led input, pair work, small group workshops, and feedback. This structured movement helps learners develop the social and communicative skills needed for productive cooperation. Now, let's look at implementing cooperative learning into a language classroom. Cooperative learning can take many forms depending on context and learner needs. Cooperation can be implemented in task-based and project-based approaches because collaboration is essential rather than optional, in these approaches. Here you need to adopt a material light approach combined with task-based and project-based learning. For example, students work with texts they brought to class or produced themselves, which makes interaction a natural part of the learning process rather than a classroom technique imposed by the teacher. Cooperative learning is supported through varied tools and modes of engagement. For example, in a class, the students move between desks, computers, large screens, whiteboards, and their own devices. These shifts support different types of collaboration, from analyzing online text to producing creative work in small groups. And finally, using authentic materials. In a course, assembling materials can become a collaborative activity, for example, with the students sharing texts they have discovered or been asked to locate. This can reposition learners as contributors to the curriculum. And finally, discussion-based cooperation can support advanced skills. In a discussion course, for instance, the students can be responsible for selecting topics and hosting extended discussions. This requires linguistic competence, but also leadership, organization, and sensitivity to group dynamics. There are obviously benefits to cooperative language learning and how it aligns with contemporary needs in language classroom. Cooperative language learning aligns closely with the communicative demands placed on language users today. In many professional and academic contexts, English functions as a shared resource rather than a marker of native-like proficiency. Learners often need English to collaborate with others, solve problems, and negotiate meaning in international settings. Cooperative learning mirrors these real-world communicative conditions. It also supports the development of broader competencies. Okay, now let's look at the benefits of the cooperative language learning approach and its alignment with contemporary needs. So cooperative language learning aligns closely with the communicative demands placed on language users today. In many professional and academic contexts, English functions as a shared resource rather than a marker of native-like proficiency. So learners often need English to collaborate with others, solve problems, and negotiate meaning in international settings. Cooperative learning mirrors these real-world communicative conditions. It also supports the development of broader competencies. So here we aim to develop self-directed learners who understand the role of English communication in shaping, say, professional identities. Cooperative learning contributes to this by encouraging shared responsibility, reflection, and peer support. At the same time, cooperative learning promotes learner autonomy. And that's very important. So curriculum guidelines frequently emphasize lifelong learning skills and meaningful task engagement. And by placing learners at the center of interaction and decision-making, cooperative learning allows autonomy to develop through participation rather than through isolation. While cooperative language learning shares principles with communicative language teaching, it places more emphasis on the structure and design of group-based procedures as a sustained alternative to teacher-fronted instruction. Of course, there are challenges and considerations in relation to cooperative language learning. It has its own strength, but cooperative learning is not without its challenges. One challenge relates to motivation. and topic ownership. So in the discussion skills course that we mentioned earlier, the instructor can find that students are less engaged with certain contentious topics than anticipated. This highlights the importance of negotiating content with learners and remaining flexible. A second challenge concerns cultural expectation of teaching and learning. Learners bring assumptions shaped by prior educational experience. In contexts where teacher-dominated lessons and textbooks are the norm, cooperative learning requires careful introduction and explicit support. The third challenge involves assessment alignment. Collaborative work can raise concerns about fairness and accountability. Some courses address this through negotiated assessment and one-to-one meetings, where self-assessment can form part of the grading process. This helps balance collaboration with individual responsibility. Cooperative language learning is not about making lessons more interactive for their own sake. It represents a principled approach to language education, grounded in how languages are learned and how they are used. By designing learning environments that create real reasons for communication, foster interdependence, and support the development of collaborative skills, cooperative learning prepares learners to use language effectively in complex, multilingual, and collaborative contexts. The key question for educators is not whether cooperative learning belongs in language education, but how it can be implemented thoughtfully within a specific institutional, cultural, and curricular context, always with learner needs and real-world use in mind. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.